Sail on, O ship of state. Sail on, O Union strong and great. Humanity, with all its fears, with all the hopes of future years, is hanging breathless on thy fate.
The noise that you hear at the moment is the sound of the air raid siren.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Good evening, and welcome to Today in History. I'm Matt Datillo. Today is March 15th, 2010, and this is episode 430. Tonight's podcast was written by Michael Vogt of Winnipeg, Canada. Thank you for your hard work, Michael. If you're interested in contributing a transcript to the podcast between now and May 16th, or even for a date after that, please stay tuned at the end of the show for my contact information. Today in 44 BC, Gaius Julius Caesar was assassinated in Rome. His rise to power against seemingly impossible odds and his subsequent rule has made him a figure of both derision and curiosity more than 20 centuries after his death. Caesar's childhood was consumed by the fires of war. His uncle, Gaius Marius, was an influential politician and military leader in Rome. When Caesar was a teenager, his uncle engaged in a civil war with Lucius Cornelius Sulla, another Roman general. Sulla seized control of Rome and subsequently executed many of Marius's supporters and forced the rest into exile, including Caesar. After being forced from Rome, Caesar joined the military and served in Asia. He served with distinction and was awarded the civic crown, a headpiece woven from oak leaves that was the second highest military honor in ancient Rome. In 78 BC, Lucius Sulla died, and Caesar attempted to return to Rome. However, his bad luck persisted, and he was captured by Sicilian pirates, not to be confused with the modern country of Sicily, and held for ransom. When Caesar learned the pirates had only asked for 20 talents of silver, he felt insulted and insisted the pirates raise the bounty to 50 talents. After the ransom was paid, Caesar returned to Rome, where he raised a private army. He then set sail and captured the pirates, fulfilling the promise he had made to them while in captivity. Caesar crucified the pirates as an example. However, he later had their throats cut to demonstrate his ability for mercy. He was already becoming a cunning politician. Upon returning to Rome, Caesar was elected as military tribune. His political career gained momentum when Caesar formed a three-way division of power. This alliance, known as the First Triumvirate, included Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, or Pompey, and Marcus Licinius Crassus. Each man controlled considerable territory and possessed political and military strength. This powerful alliance dominated the Senate and controlled Rome. In 69 BC, while Caesar was in the area that is today modern Spain, he was there to supervise financial affairs, he encountered a statue of Alexander the Great. Caesar was roughly the same age that Alexander was when he had conquered most of the known world. Perhaps Caesar felt inadequate when he looked upon Alexander, a vision of success that mirrors the shadows of his ambition. Motivated, Caesar resigned from his post and returned to Rome. He was elected Pontifex Maximus, or head priest, of the Roman state religion. Using his shrewd political tactics, Caesar climbed the ranks of the government until he was appointed consul, or governor, of Gaul, an area that encompassed most of Western Europe. Caesar used his military prowess to raise an army and began expanding the borders of the Roman Republic. In fact, his conquests spread to the shores of England. This military accomplishment gained Caesar a powerful reputation among Rome's citizens. In 50 BC, Caesar's former political ally and friend Pompey was in control of the Senate. He ordered that Caesar disband his army and return to Rome, as Caesar's consulship had expired. Caesar rolled the dice and marched his legion on Rome. When his army crossed the Rubicon River in northern Italy on its way south, he ignited a civil war. Although Pompey's forces outnumbered Caesar's, Pompey retreated from Rome with the Senate. Caesar pursued them across the known world, winning decisive battles along the way. Finally in Egypt, Pompey was killed. While in Egypt, Caesar met Cleopatra. This started a romantic relationship that would last for more than a decade. While in Egypt, Caesar once again exercised his power and overthrew the existing government. In 47 BC, Caesar installed Cleopatra as queen of Egypt. This led to a prosperous trade alliance that contributed to the growing wealth of the expanding Roman Republic. Upon returning to Rome in 49 BC, the Senate had no choice but to elect Caesar as dictator of Rome. At this time, Caesar's arrogance had alienated him as much as his position as dictator did. Caesar made himself into a god. He claimed to be a descendant of Ides, who was a hero of the Trojan War and the son of a Roman goddess. Ides is the mythical father of Rome, so by Caesar tracing his lineage to him, he solidified himself as rightful heir of Rome. He used this association to further tighten his grip on the city. He became the first living Roman to put his face on a coin, an honor normally reserved for those who had been deified after death. A growing hostility in the Senate transformed a group of some 60 senators into conspirators, and on the Ides of March, 44 BC, they confronted Caesar and stabbed him 23 times as he made his way to the senatorial forum. William Shakespeare romanticized and glorified the epic tale of Julius Caesar. There are many different ideas of what exactly Caesar's dying words were. The most famous are the ones penned by Shakespeare. Et tu, Brute, meaning, you too, Brutus? This referred to Caesar's friend Brutus, who was among the conspirators. It seems that Caesar's ambitions had left him, at the end, a man alone in the world. In history and fiction, Caesar didn't fear death. He feared irrelevance. The following monologue from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar best exemplifies this mentality. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. Julius Caesar was responsible for transforming the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire. His actions were a catalyst that allowed his adopted grandnephew Augustus to become Rome's first emperor. Julius Caesar was followed by 5 emperors of his lineage, known as the Julio-Claudians. They reigned until 68 AD. Rome was never again returned to a republic. Well, that's it for this evening. If you'd like to get in touch with me, please feel free to do so. My email address is mattstodayinhistory@gmail.com. You'll find a transcript of this and previous episodes of this podcast at mattstodayinhistory.com, along with a donation link which serves 2 purposes. 1, if you'd like to give the ever-appreciated donation to the show, and 2, if you're interested in buying a DVD of past episodes. The DVDs cost $20. That includes shipping in the lower 48 states, and $25, which includes shipping everywhere else on the planet. You can also find me on Facebook. Please do a search for Matt Dattilo. That's MattDattilo. Thank you very much for staying subscribed, and have a good evening. We'll talk again soon.